This week's Parashat Emor, it's all about how we started off, Achei Mot. We learned about after the death of Aaron's two children. We spoke about it last week in Kiddushim, and how important God reiterates this idea of be holy because I'm holy, and this idea of mimicking God and emulating His behaviors, right? And then we get into Parashat Emor. After we talked about the impurities and all the things that impure a person, we get to Emor, in which we get to the high priest. This is all, everything before this is all to the regular nation. But now we get to the Kohanim, we get to the priest. And they have special laws regarding just them. Now for the high priest, they have a special type of tumah that they cannot become. Right? The high priest, who are they? Let's understand who they were first. They went into the Beit HaMikdash, the holy temple, and did the service of God. They would go and bring sacrifices on the altar. So when they would bring sacrifices on the altar, does it make sense now they're going to get dressed in shirts stained with ketchup stains or brisket on the thing? Huh? It makes sense they're going to be dressed properly. It makes sense they're going to look a certain type of way. Yeah, it makes sense that they're going to have a certain type of look in honor of Kodesh Baruch Hu. There's another level of honor that this week's parasha starts with. And it says that a Kohen has one thing that most people don't have to worry about so much, which is not to get contaminated, something called Tumat Met, which is being next to a dead body. Shalom Nida. If you're next to a dead body, or if you're in a room with a dead body, you collect from that body something called Tumat Met. And not only that, it travels upward. If you ever have any friends who are Kohanim, and if they know, they're in the knee, mostly their parents tell them, you can't fly certain airlines. Why can't you fly certain airlines if you're a Kohen? Because in the undercarriage of the plane, sometimes they have to carry, unfortunately, people. So they cannot be in that plane. So they only fly specific airlines. The ones that travel with the bodies in the back. Right? That's one of the ways. Elal does that, for example. They put it in the back, it's not under. Because Tumat Met, the body of the impurity of a dead body, it passes all the way up to Shamayim. So they cannot even pass over it. So what do we learn from over there? They obviously cannot go to funerals. They cannot go to a cemetery. They cannot go into a hospital. I once had someone come to me and my rabbi, and he was someone that was learning with us. We had a chabua during the times of COVID, during the lockdown on Zoom, or something like that. I don't remember what it was. And he came to the rabbi and said, Rabbi, I have a job. He was a contractor or something like that. But the job is in the hospital. I said, well, I'm a Kohen. Am I allowed to go to the hospital even though there's over there dead bodies? Right? Because over there I have to worry that maybe if I'm going into the place, then the tumah is coming up on me and I'm a Kohen and I'm not allowed to get contaminated. So if I'm not mistaken, I believe he told him that you cannot do the job. And it's better that you bring somebody else. Take a subcontractor, hire him and take a little profit on the top, but don't go there yourself. I think that was the Psak Halakha. Now what's the importance of this? It says, like we're saying before, if you're going to be doing the avodah of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, if you're coming now to do the work of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, right? It makes sense, let's make a mashal. A king, he has a chef, and his chef prepares him beautiful meals. It makes sense that the chef is going to go and play with the garbage outside. He's going to come with dirty hands, then he's going to come and cook for the king. It says no. This idea of Tumat Met is a spiritual impurity that is so strong that it nullifies them. They don't even have the ability to give a service anymore because it nullifies the korban, the offering. Now what's interesting, it says a Kohen has a chiyuv, has an obligation to go to the ones closest to him. For example, his wife, his mother, his brother, his sister who was unmarried, any one of the close relatives around him, he has an obligation to go to their funerals. But anyone else, he cannot go. But for them, he's allowed to. Now what's interesting, but for nobody else. And there's one other case in which a Kohen is allowed to go. One other case Rashi brings down. Rashi says the pasuk, someone who died among his nation, do not become contaminated by him. So what is among his nation? Says the commentary Rashi, the famous commentary Rashi, says, what's this among his nation? Says among his nation means that someone from his nation, from his people, is taking care of his burial. And from there we understand that if no one is taking care of him, and he's a body that no one is taking care of his burial, not only are you supposed to go, you have to go and help him. This is something called met mitzvah. It's a mitzvah that you have to go and help this person. Now what's the significance of this? What is it? We know the Torah has everything that we learn in the Torah, everything we learn in the parasha has something to do with us. Right? Something to do with us every day of our lives. So we go through it. This week's parasha has something to do with this week. Obviously, besides for the Omer, one of the parts is that we have Sfirat Omer also in this week's parasha. But that's one side. We're going to put that to the side. That's one also connection. But obviously, we know everything we learned. So what's the connection between now, Kohen, you can only become contaminated? So Torah is emphasizing something. It says the Ramban, if you look in the pasuk, it says twice, Amar v'amarta. Twice he says it, and it seems redundant. You don't have to say twice. Just say one time. Don't say twice. Says the Ramban, why did the pasuk say twice? He says because specifically this commandment for the Kohen is one of the hardest things because it goes against human nature. What's human nature? Someone close by, someone close relative, you want to be there. It's very hard. But how much more so, this is what I was thinking about it, is the secondary thing we have to learn about going to help this person who has no one to bury him. Why? The Torah is teaching us a very, very important point. How important it is to us, every single person in the whole entire world, to look out for the needs of another individual. Another individual, we have to go out of our way to help him and to look for his needs. If he needs something, to go and help him. Ad kedei kach, so much so, that even when it's against a prohibition, of course when the Torah relates and tells you, even though it's against a prohibition, it's a sul from the Torah, he's not allowed to get contaminated by a corpse. But if you have to go do a mitzvah for somebody like that, go even against the Torah. When the Torah relates, of course. But look how powerful it is to go out of your way to help another human being. How powerful it is to go and help them. There was once a story of a rabbi, that one of the people in his kehillah, he was in a community in Europe, and one person from the congregation came knocking on the door of the rabbi. Happened to be his students were sitting around, and the rabbi welcomed the man in, and he came to the rabbi and said, Rabbi, listen, I have a question for you. I don't really have money for wine. I was wondering, can I do kiddush on milk? Famous story. So Shabbat's coming up. I don't have money for wine. Can I do kiddush on milk? So the rabbi looks at him, says, before I even answer your question, what do you mean you don't have wine? He says, I cannot afford to go buy wine. I don't have enough money. So the rabbi goes into his pocket and he pulls out the amount of $250 at that time. And he hands it to him. And the guy looks at him ecstatic and he goes. And the students are looking at the rabbi and say, Rabbi, all he said was he needed some wine. What wine bottle you know except for maybe Alexander the Great or one of those top shelf bottles? But for kiddush you can get just grape juice, not that much money. What did you give him $250 for? He's obviously he's coming to ask me for wine. How much more so he doesn't have money for meat? How much more so he doesn't have money for bread? I give him enough money that I know he's going to be able to cover whatever he needs. So that when we're dealing with another person, when we're doing something for them, it's not just enough what they're coming to ask from you. I need your help with this and this. It's looking past that. It's looking into another person and saying, what does this person need from me? You're right, he's asking for such and such. But every single person, most people in the whole entire world, need something. I don't care. Sometimes, most of the time, it's going to be, so you have some people who unfortunately they need money, shalom. But for the most part, every single person in the whole entire world you ever will meet will need something emotionally. Emotionally. They're lagging, they have some demons they're fighting, they have something that they're going through. But you have to see that. You have to see a person's going through something and you have to go reach out to him. Say, hey, how can I help you? I know you're not asking me. You didn't call me, you didn't say, hey, by the way, buddy, something going through my life. But you see through his behavior, he's a little bit down today, he's a little bit this, or something is a little bit off. So go out to him, reach out to him, everything okay? Talk to me. And you can save a person's life like that. Obviously today, we know that statistically speaking, we have the highest number of suicide, of depression, anxiety, Xanax, all these other things. Why? Because today, more than ever, people are depressed. People have these demons they're fighting with. Because they look out into the world of social media, and they see the highlight reel, right? Everyone talks about this. You look on Instagram, especially today more than ever. You go on TikTok, all you see, Bora Bora, Dubai, this one, that one, how much you pay for your apartment, you know, how much you pay for your apartment in New York City, how much you pay for your apartment in LA, how much you pay for your apartment in Colorado, every time that type of video. And then, but did you ever get like, you ever had, maybe once in a blue moon, tell them how much you pay for your apartment and they go to like a little rinky-dink apartment, right? Also the how much you pay for your apartment? $30,000. What? Excuse me? $30,000. Can we see your apartment? Take them to a 5-star penthouse over there. The whole place is down to the T. He opens the refrigerator, nothing's touched. You don't need everything is clean. You know, it reminds you of MTV Cribs back in the day. You know, they come knocking on the door. Oh, I didn't know you guys are coming. The house was spotless. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Oh, you guys surprised me. Yeah, right. Come to my house unannounced. Oh, one second. Don't come in here. Don't come in. Huh? My wife is going to kill me. 1 second. I got to put the blanket. I got to pay them. What? The house is spotless. Not even one thing. They open the refrigerator. It's all, you know, nicely organized. Red, blue, green, orange. The whole 9 yards. They didn't prepare. No, I'm serious. But you see these things, how are you going to feel? You don't have this penthouse, you don't have this car, you don't have this Bentley. You're right now sitting in your office in Brooklyn, and this guy's sitting in Dubai, and he's asking people by the waterline over there 100,001 questions, or he's traveling, or he turned the van into a home, and now he's driving around all of the United States of America. He takes beautiful videos of some frozen place, or something cold, something hot. One day he's surfing, one day he's snowboarding. Everything else. But you're looking, I'm stuck over here in this rinky-dink Brooklyn, stuck over here, and we have they have nowhere to go. I'm sitting over here, have to go to work. This guy converted a Mercedes-Benz van. He has over there shower in the back, the whole 9 yards. Besides the fact that it's like a sardine can, but whatever, at the end of the day, he's driving, he's the loneliest person in the whole entire world, right? Usually the people who do it by themselves, you're always going to find have a dog or something. Miskani, who are you going to talk to all day? Imagine all day on the road, you have no one with you. They have to go to the truck. Man, it's the weirdest thing. Man, you pull up to a truck stop, right? You have over there all those vans that they all live. Go making friends now. Go make some friends on people. You go knocking on the van door. What? You're by yourself over there, you're driving. But you know what? When you see the videos, how does it look? It's fun. No? He's seeing the whole entire world. My whole life I dreamed of seeing the whole entire world. It's a ta'anug. I remember when I went to Italy. Chacham David. I remember when we went to Italy. Leave it, Koto. Just don't trip over the wire. You guys wondering if I remember when I went to Italy? Okay. So, well, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't remember if I went to Italy. I remember when I went to Italy, right now, my whole life, I dreamed Italy. I went with my wife after we got married, right? I said, oh, Italy, wow, the place is beautiful. It's the nicest place in the world. I'm going to come over there. I'm going to see the fountain. I'm going to see this building, I don't know, all the Colosseum. I get over there. It's like a upgraded Times Square. A bunch of people over there trying to sell you a bus tour. Everyone over there is a tourist. The place is meluklak and dirty. I said, what is this? This is what I pay money to come see? But in the movies and in the shows, it looks, wow, looks ta'anug shel ha'chaim. So you're seeing it through your phone screen, and you're getting, you know what? I'm a little bit upset. I want to live that life. Today, who's the highest grossing people in the world on the YouTube and the TikTok, right there? People who post vlogs about their life. Why? Because people are living vicariously to them. Which basically means they're watching their life and saying, that's the life I want to live, so I'm going to live to them. Comes home every night like a drug addict. I have to watch this video. 3-4 hours watching the guy go from one bus to one train to the next city. This is a layover. Oh, we have the executive suite and we're first class, business points. And he's sitting at home. How's he going to feel? But today more than ever, we have this idea. People are looking around because there's so much exposure. And they're feeling inside themselves, wow, what's my life? What's my life? What do I have to offer to the world? I don't know, I work in a certain desk job. I work here, work there. Well, I don't go travel the world. I'm not a big, gigantic bodybuilder who makes money selling personal coaching online to the videos. Everything's already preset. Who am I? I don't got the AP. I don't got this. I don't got all these Rolex. I don't have all these things. Who am I? Gets depressed. Now what happens? Think to yourself, but you don't notice it. You catch a guy in the street. He feels comfortable. You start talking. He starts letting out all the demons. Next thing you realize that, wow, look how much he has going on inside of him. And just one conversation, you don't know what you can do with a person. Some people, I come, I speak to them. Maybe after 3 hours or 2 hours talking to them, they finally feel like, okay, I can open up to them after boxing me for 2 hours. You know what I mean? No, yes, boom, bam, me. I'm sitting over there like, what's up, man? Boom, boom, boom. I'm trying to hit him. He's dodging me. Finally, 2 hours, I hit him with one. One thing, they caught him. Now he opens up to me. I see, all of a sudden, Niagara Falls. Everything comes flying out. The 2 hours you're sitting over here quiet. Now you want to spend another 2 hours. Could have just told me from the beginning. But then we can help. Because people have that. This emotional thing is one of the most powerful, one of the things plaguing this generation. I can tell you that from 100%. And if you look, who's the people who mostly have it? The people who you look at them and say, this guy's very happy. This guy's extremely happy. Right? Like Robin Williams. Everyone, I don't know, when I was growing up, Robin Williams, every movie he made, you thought he was the happiest person in the world. You said, I would love to meet Robin Williams. He's probably one of the happiest people in the entire world. Just sitting with him, you probably feel like $1 million. You see his face, you want to smile. Hug himself in his hotel room, overdosed on drugs. Kill himself. Robin Williams. If you would have asked me before he killed himself, I would have told you this is the happiest person in the whole entire world. But we see this not one after the top. Chris Farley. I was a very old comedian. One of my favorites. Yeah. Beverly Hills Ninja. Yeah. One of my old favorites when I used to watch the movies. Yeah. One of my favorites. Killed himself. What happened? You're the happiest person in the whole entire world. And if you look back into my videos, you look back far enough, I spoke about Will Smith. Before the whole slap incident. I promise you, I spoke about it in my video. Said, what's going on with him? He's scared. And then he had that whole thing. Because you see, mentally, what is he holding? Jim Carrey. Growing up, Jim Carrey was קדוש כביכול, חס ושלום, להבדיל בהבדלות, אבל you watch his movies, every movie you watch from there, wow, פלא. There's a movie called Man in the Moon, 12 years, leaves the scene, goes crazy, goes out of beard, starts painting, walks around his house barefoot, he has armpit hair down the side. מה קרה? What happened? What happened? And these people are usually the people who get the least amount of help. You know why? Because these people who think that they're prospering, think that they're doing good, who's going to help them? They don't need help. But I'm here to tell you right now, all these people you think right now, that you think that they're prospering, and you see them and he has a successful business, and he drives a Bentley, and he has a penthouse, and all the other things, everything you see about him, I guarantee you, talk to him a little bit, get him on the inside, I guarantee you there's something underneath. But who's going to go and help him? Because what does he put out? Akol tov, everything's great, I'm living the life. Next thing you hear, chas v'shalom, some bad news. What happened? I never would have guessed. Specifically that guy, you don't ever expect it from him. But that guy, you have to go out of your way to figure out, okay, this guy definitely needs help. Because if a person he can have all the financial success in the whole entire world, but there's no spirituality over there, no purpose, nothing bigger inside of him, he'll be empty. How many times we talk about this idea of being rek? When you go after tavot, when you go after material, you're empty on the inside. Ain't nothing there. Kli rek. Nothing there. Empty, 100%. Empty. Running after tavot all day, trying to feed his desires. You come talk to that guy, you go reach out to him. And the beautiful idea is why dafka a dead person? Why does it tell us a person a corpse? What's the significance of telling us a corpse? So I think this is even a more bigger principle. A bigger principle that I think that every single person in the whole entire world deals with. When you do a good thing for another person, what do you expect? Something back. It could be as little as a thank you. It could be little as appreciation, something, give me something. But you expect it. When you don't get it, then all of a sudden you're going crazy. You know what the highest level of doing something for another person is? Doing it, and the person doesn't give you anything back. You're not going to get back anything from him. Whatever you think you're going to get from him, you're not going to get nothing. Nothing, zero, zilch. And that's the highest level. It's one of the hardest things to ever do in the whole entire world. Because you do something for another person, you go out of your way, and the guy doesn't even tell you thank you. Now, what are you doing? You're fighting with yourself. I do for him. He doesn't tell me. He doesn't say me thank you. What is this? Ungrateful. It's the hardest thing in the whole entire world. But you should know that those things, dealing with those situations where people is going through something, and you're not going to get anything back from me. Nothing. Zero. It's the best thing in the whole entire world. And I'll give you an example to illustrate the point. And from this story, you'll understand, if we take the context and flip it around, how important it is to use such an action like this. There was a story of a family. They were walking by an ice skating rink. A boy, two boys, and his mother and his father. And the kids, as they're walking by, they're excited. And they're asking the parents, can we go? And the parents look at each other a little bit embarrassingly. And they say, no. And they don't specify any further. No, let's go. Now the clerk working at the sales station for the ice skating rink, he sees what's going on over there. It's from a little bit of a far away, but he understands. So he gets out of the booth. He comes running over to them. He says, so you guys are our number one winner. We get once a week, we give a prize to one family. I saw you guys walking by. I have a prize for you guys. Are you guys interested in maybe coming into the skating rink? I have a prize for the family. So the family say, of course, yes, we'd love to go. And he gives them the tickets and they go inside. He comes back to the booth. His boss tells him, hello, who told you have permission to get it for free? He says, dock it for my pay next week. Whatever you want to pay me, whatever the cost of the ticket is, dock it for my pay. Now this family will never know what this person did for him. But how good does he feel? He goes home that night, how does he feel about himself? Those two little boys right now are having the best time of their life, and he's watching them in a skating rink enjoying themselves. But they never know that what he did for them. So I care about the money that they lose. I care about it. Who cares? That's why I tell people, when somebody comes to ask you for something, already in your head, you have to have this kashbon, this calculation of, do I expect something back or not? If I expect something back, don't do it. I'm telling you right now, don't do it. If you don't expect anything back, then do it. Someone one time came and asked me, he said, Emor, I had someone that I lent him money. He didn't have to pay me back. It was a whole story. I told him, I also had something like that. He said, what happened? What'd you do? I said, I let go. He said, how could it be? So when I gave him the money in the beginning, I told myself, am I comfortable with him not paying me back? Because the reality is he might not pay me back. So am I comfortable with that? So yeah, I'm comfortable with that. So I lent him the money. Then when he didn't pay me back, I said, okay, so he didn't pay me back. I was expecting that anyways. Kol tov. But you came with him on tonight. I'm going to get it back. So I told him, next time you have to do in your life, think to yourself, am I going to be makpid? Later on, I might say, I want my payback. If yeah, don't do it. If no, do it. That's everything in the entire world. When you go to help another person, just understand, I don't want anything back. And it's the hardest test, because now you do something for a person, you do a certain action for him, and he's feeling like, oh, now I did a good deed for this person. What does he want back? A thank you, some appreciation. But unfortunately, the person, nothing back. How does he feel? He feels, what, this guy's ungrateful. He feels terrible what he did. He needs to think to himself in his head, Kadosh Baruch Hu is mezakeoti. God is giving me a merit. Why? Because all the action that I did right now, instead of getting any reward in this world, I'm going to get everything in the next. I'm going to get everything in the next. It's like a mashal. A guy worked in a certain company. He came into the company entry level. So they gave him a job. He told him what's your job description. He told him, listen, you're going to be an analyst. You got to do underwriting. You got to do due diligence. Everything. They give him a whole list of things he has to do. One day, after a few months of working over there, the boss says to him, listen, I want you to do something else. Nothing to do on the job description. Something completely different. But he didn't tell him that. He told him, I want you to go and do this action. Not on the job description. So he wanted to see how he reacts. So the kid goes, he does it, doesn't complain. Okay, again, a few times. Now the person is asking himself, where's my bonus? I'm doing such an action, I deserve a bonus. No? I deserve a bonus from my action. But nothing's coming. No bonus, no thank you. No, we appreciate you going out of your way. No, we know it's not a part of your job description, but you're going to do it anyways. Nothing. But you know what he said to himself? He said, okay, it's fine, it is what it is. It's my job, I'm okay, I'm happy to do it. At the end of the year, comes his boss, he says, I want you to know, I was testing you. I wanted to know how you're going to react in the situation. When you have to do something for another person, and you don't see anything back. And guess what? Because you acted the way you did, and you're willing to do the work, now I want to promote you. You're going to become the manager of the office. Because you know how to understand this concept, that when you do something, you're doing it. It's one of the most important character traits in the whole entire world, because at the end of the day, you're not asking for anything back. In this week's Parashat, it says, sanctify Hashem's name. Do a Kiddush Hashem. Don't desecrate God's name. Right? How do you sanctify God's name? When you go out and show people I'm a Jewish person, I do for another person, I don't expect anything back. Guess what? Now they see you, say, this guy, he's going out of his way to do this action for me, and now what? He doesn't expect anything back? That's the greatest Kiddush Hashem you could do. The greatest sanctification of Hashem's name you could ever do in the whole entire world. It's the greatest level, because Hashem says, look at this person. He purely does good just to do good. Something amazing. There was a famous story, and I'll end it with this because I know we started a little bit late. It was a famous story of a person who was a Jewish person. He was a gravekeeper. He worked in the graveyard. And every so often he would walk around the graveyard and he would clean the graves, he would dust them off, he would put the flowers, he would make sure everything is nice and masudar in the graveyard. After a few years, this person passes away. He gets to the next world and he comes before the judges. And I tell him, listen, you were a good person, but you don't have any maasim tovim, you didn't learn Torah, I don't have what to give you to put you in Gan Eden. You have some good deeds here and there, but other than that, nothing else. In that same moment, a group of people came in and said, wait a minute, we have a testimony. What testimony? This person came and he cleaned our graves every single day, every single week, make sure it was clean. Judges heard that, said, okay. Because of that, we're going to send him back down another chance. They sent him back down into the world and give him another chance, and this person actually became a religious Jew, and he tells back the story. This is the real story. He tells back the story of how he went up to Shamayim, he went to the next world, and these people that he went to clean their graves were testifying on him. He did something for me, he didn't expect anything back. So he gave him a second chance. This is the highest level. When we do something for another person, we don't expect anything back. Why do we expect things back? Because we do things and we have entitlement. Magiali. I deserve it, no? And the flip side of the coin, obviously, is how do we act? When it happens to us, when someone does for us, of course, appreciate. I'm not giving an excuse to the person who doesn't appreciate. Of course, appreciate. But if you're on the other side of the coin and you're not getting appreciation, say, thank you, Hashem. You know why? Because what did we say last week's parasha? Kedoshim tiyu ki kadosh ani. Be holy because I'm holy. What did Hashem say? Mimic my behaviors. What does Hashem do? Every single day of your life, He gives you life, He wakes you up, He lets you go to sleep, He feeds you, prosperity, everything you haven't told that well, Akash Baruch Hu gave you. And how many times in a day you say thank you to Him for it? How many times in a day? A majority of the people in the whole entire world don't appreciate what Hashem does for them. And guess what? Hashem still does for them. Hashem still does for them. And we already learned, the Chazal taught us. How does the Akash Baruch Hu judge a person? How does He judge them? He says, I want to see how you're going to judge in such a situation like this. When you do for somebody and they don't appreciate, how do you feel? Because you do the same thing to me. How am I supposed to feel? Am I supposed to be upset with you? Am I supposed to feel, I don't care, I'll do it for him because I can? It all depends on you. Now comes a person right now and says, you know what, I have an opportunity to do a maaseh for me. Go do some type of action. You went to help the guy, no appreciation. He said, thank you, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Thank you that you mezakeh oti. Thank you for the opportunity that I can go help another Jew. Because you know, the funniest thing, I had a situation that happened to me recently. And I had a certain, someone that I did something for. And I was dealing with this myself. That's why when this idea came to me, I said, well, I have to talk about this. I was dealing with this recently. And I called one of my rabbis. I said, Rabbi, I don't know. I did something for this guy. And it's really killing me. It's burning me. Every time I see him, it's so efrit alev. I can't see the guy. I can't say hello to him. I can't, nothing. He says, I don't know what to do. So my rabbi tells me, he's like, this is what you should do. Go to the guy and tell him, listen, nothing to do with you. But me, I'm the type of person that I need to thank you for everything that I do. So I'm asking you to tell me thank you. And you may have told me thank you. I don't remember, but I want more thank you. I said, Rabbi, I'm not going to do that. He says, why are you not going to do that? I feel like an idiot. Exactly. He says, you know, more. He said, let me tell you something. He said, He says, the fact that you're calling me and telling me this is what your problem is, I say thank you, Kadosh Baruch Hu, that this is the only problems you have. Because if you care about this stupidity, then how much Baruch Hashem didn't give you any burden in your life. Says the Arizal. That when you see another person comes to ask you for something, and you help him, he didn't give you back, and he has certain problems, says that you should understand, this is Hashem showing you His mercy. Because what should it have been? That should have been you. That person who's suffering right now, that should have been you. But Hashem in His mercy, He gave you the opportunity. I won't make it you, but I'll give you the opportunity to help him. And by that, I'll take away that burden from you. Something crazy. So now you see a person, he doesn't appreciate, what do you say about him? Kadosh Baruch Hu, thank you that you mezakeh oti, that I'm not in that situation. And I have the ability to help. Somebody is suffering, someone is down. And let me tell you something. When you help another person who gains, you also gain. Because when you come and you see a person who's down, or has something going on in his life, and you go talk to him, guess what? Your mental health also gets better. Because the things that you tell them, they're reassured in your mind. Now you start opening up different channels, start talking to him, and they bring you different avenues, different conversations that you never even thought about. And now you start explaining to your health, because you have to explain to him now how to look at it the right way. So you're explaining to him how to look at it the right way, and internally what are you doing? You're also telling yourself how to look at it the right way. Most of the time you'll figure out that when you talk to the person, the thing that they're dealing with, you're also dealing with. You're also dealing with it. And when you're talking to him and you're helping him, guess what? You're also helping yourself. That's why when I got off the phone with my rabbi, after this conversation, he told me, I want to thank you. I said, thank you for what? You talked to me for half an hour. You told me I'm a majnoon. What thank me for? He said, I want to thank you because you know why? Because after talking to you, I realized I also have the same problem and I have to fix it also. When you go and help another person, you're never going to lose. You're never going to lose your whole entire life. What's the top level? What's the highest level of helping a person? Specifically when they're not going to know who you are. They're not going to even be able to tell you anything back. And you still do it. Because I don't care. Someone comes to you now because you're Emor, I need your help. So I said, okay, I'm going to go do it. God didn't tell me thank you. I don't need it. I did this purely because I wanted to do it. I don't need your thank you. I don't need your appreciation. I did this because I wanted to do a good deed. Ma kesher lecha. You just not a question in the situation. But I wanted to do a good deed. Whether it was you or somebody else, I would have done it. So if you don't tell me thank you, loch badly. I got a good deed. This is the highest level. Especially when you see someone, that this situation of the Kohen. Whenever someone who doesn't have anyone to bury him, it's the highest level. You can come and tell yourself, why me? Somebody else do it. No? Why me? Let somebody else do it. Not only you have to do it, you have a mitzvah from the Torah to do it. It says the mitzvah, you have a mitzvah to go and do it. And if you didn't do it, you over on the mitzvah. Why? Don't think that when something comes to you, say, someone else will do it. Don't think, now somebody's coming to your table, now someone else is going to take care of it. No, if Kosh Baruch Hu brought it to you, take care of it. Don't run away from it. Take care of it. Someone comes to you, need your help? Yeah, I'll talk to you later. No. How many times it happens to me? My wife already wants to murder me. Bemet. My wife wants to murder me. All day you're on the phone. You come home on the phone. This one on the phone. And then you go to sleep at night on the phone. Yeah, I hear you. You there? Yeah, I'm with you. Okay, I hear you. I'm listening. I'm with you. I hear you. But we do. Even when it takes away from us a little bit. But at the end, I guarantee you that from doing this action, of going and doing like that, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to give you 100 times more reward than you can ever imagine. Because this is the highest thing. This is you do for me without expecting back, I'll do for you without expecting back. Hashem will be zochet to help every other person. We all have help from HaKadosh Baruch Hu ourselves.